Hello students, myself Mahima Lahariya. Welcome you all in my YouTube channel Pacific Chemistry Classes. Students, our today's class topic is the shift reagents. It is very important topic and it comes in your lanthanides as well as your NMR spectra unit. So why we are using these shift reagents? Because these are the reagents. So what they will do, as we know that in any NMR spectrum we are getting the chemical shift values. So they will shift the chemical shift values of any particular compound. So they are used to simplify the complex NMR spectra. Generally the NMR spectra are getting complicated because of the so many same groups. So if we are adding the shift reagents, the complex spectra get simplified. So we can have a simple first order spectra by using the shift reagents. So what are these shift reagents? So the shift reagents are the ions of the rare earth coordinated to the organic ligands. As you already studied the lanthanides like our europium and the praseodymium. So these ions, when they are coordinated to the organic ligands, they will act as a shift reagents and they will help us to make a dramatic change in the NMR spectra and make them simplify. So the most important shift reagents are our EU DPM whole thrice. What is the full form of this? This is our tris dipivalomethaneto europium, and this the other important one is europium FOD whole thrice, and the name is tris 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 heptafluoro 7, 7 dimethyl 3, 5 octane dineto europium. So the names are very complicated. Just you can see the structure of these shift reagents. So these are the structure of both the shift reagents. Commonly the two which I have drawn the structure of these reagents are used, that is our europium DPM whole thrice and europium FOD whole thrice, where your metal europium or praseodymium, any metal can be used for the as a lanthanide ion. So this is very important. Now see the history. So in 1969 Hinckley discovered that the complicated NMR spectrum of cholesterol, it is very much simplified in the presence of our shift reagent, that is our europium DPM whole thrice and pyridine whole twice. So the simplification occurs by the chemical shift which is induced by the paramagnetic lanthanide ion. So now let us see the provides a useful technique for spreading out the NMR absorption patterns which normally overlap without increasing the strength of magnetic field. Means if we are using the shift reagents, we don't have to extend the strength of the magnetic field. If we are recording the NMR spectrum at our 100 megahertz frequency, we don't need to extend the frequency or our magnetic field. So now let us see the example of our N-hexenol and NMR spectra in our CCl4. So students, when we are taking the NMR spectrum of our N-hexenol in our CCl4, so we are getting this type of a spectrum. So I hope who are expert in the NMR, if we are using our delta and tau scale, so if we see this compound, if you see the example, so how many types of the protons are there? So this is our CH3 group, these are our CH2 group, this is CH2 attached with OH. So we can say that there are 4 types of the proton here. So here you can see this is a one peak for CH3 group. This is our all these CH2 methylene group will give this peak in between our 1.8 or near about 1.9 delta ppm. So and this is for the CH2 group and this peak is for our OH group. So students, what happens when they have recorded this spectrum in our CCl4, so you will get this type of a spectrum, and here what happens, all the CH2 peaks were merged between these values. Means sari CH2 peaks ke liye you are getting only this peak. Otherwise, if generally if we are seeing the NMR splitting pattern, so you are getting a 3+1, so you should get a quadrat, and for this you may get a triplet. Lekin kya ho raha tha, this spectra is very much complicated to understand how these peaks are obtained. So if we say that the CH3 group is resolved at a high field as a distorted triplet, means the peak which we are getting for CH3 is a distorted type of peak as a triplet, distorted triplet, and all the CH2 group which is near OH, which is marked with a green pen, so it is resolved as a broad multiplet as low field. Means this CH2 group is obtained as a broad peak, and all the other CH2 protons are buried in our this envelope. This peak, all our protons are present. Okay, so at the value delta 1.2 to delta 1.8. So when the same spectrum is recorded after the addition of a soluble europium second complex, that is our europium DPM whole thrice, that is a very important shift reagent, the spectrum is spread out over a wider range of frequencies so that it is simplified to the first order spectra. So when the same spectrum we have we have dissolved this in our soluble europium second complex, we are getting a wider range of the frequency, and that spectra simplified to the first order spectra as like this. Now you see the difference between the both the spectra. First, which type of the peaks you are getting for this our OH group and CH2 groups. All these CH2s are buried in a one peak, and this is the CH3 is our distorted triplet peak. But now you can see you will get a separate peaks for all the CH2 groups. So this is CH3, so CH3 peak will split because of 2. You will get a triplet ना. इसके नेबर में कितना है? CH3 in the neighborhood is only 2 protons, so 2 plus 1 you should get a triplet for this. And this CH2 neighborhood, how many protons are there? 3. So it will follow by our n plus 1 rule. So you will get our 3 plus 1. So you will get a quadrate for this methylene. So you are getting a quadrate. So all these CH2 are surrounded by our single. So you will get a triplet. And for when you are using our shift reagent, you are the shift reagent which we are using here, europium DPM whole thrice. So the spectra is now simplified and you are getting a separate peaks for all the methylene groups. So students, I hope this is clear what happens when we are using the shift reagent. When you are using the our shift reagents, our NMR spectra are simplified. So to make the complex spectra simple to study, we are using the shift reagents. So now what is the important in this shift reagent? How they are making this spectra simple? So let us first complete this. So the OH absorption signal is shifted too far to be observed, means OH is obtained very far and the separate signal is observed for each CH2 group. So what you have to write here, the every CH2 will give you a separate peaks and the OH signal is obtained very far. So the complex of the lanthanides are mild Lewis acid. Now the important thing come. As we know that what are Lewis acid? Lewis acid are lone pair acceptor and Lewis base are lone pair donor. So what happens here, as our lanthanide ions are our europium third ion, so these are acting as a mild Lewis acids, and lanthanide ion can increase its coordination by bonding interaction with the lone pair electrons on the NH2OH group, as they are coordinated with our organic ligands and diketones. And also what they will do, they will do the bonding interaction with the lone pair electrons present on the various different ligands. So because of the bonding, they can easily form the complexes as I have shown in this diagram. You can see, if suppose this is our shift reagent, this is our europium metal, it's acidic in nature, means it is acting as a Lewis acid, and any organic ligand, when they come close to each other or they react, they will form a complex. And why? Because this metal will have the tendency to take the lone pair of electrons and they will form our complex. Okay, so because of this paramagnetic europium ion, the complex is n-hexanol and cause a dramatic downfield shifts in the n-hexanol resonances. Because of this nature, means paramagnetic nature of our europium ion, they will cause a dramatic change. As when we are studying the chemical shift in a downfield shift and our de-shielding effect, so they will shift the values towards the downfield and they will cause a dramatic change in the spectrum. So the magnetic field which is associated with the metal ions, that is paramagnetic in nature, causes the changes in the observed shifts of the proton in the substrate. Means because of that magnetic nature only, the values of our H will shift. So that's why the name our shift reagent, as you are associated with the metal ion, that is metal is paramagnetic in nature, and as paramagnetic nature will cause the changes in the shifts of the proton which is present in any substrate, है ना. जो भी आपका जैसे n-hexanol molecule में H है, hydrogens है, OH group will be affected by the paramagnetic nature of our lanthanide ion and it will shift the values of our chemical shift, so the name is shift reagent. And the mechanism by which the shift reagent induce the shift is termed as pseudo contact interaction. And just as we have discussed here, as you can see, this is our europium ion and this is any organic complex. So when they will form a complex, there will be some formation of an angle. So we are representing this by theta, and this is distance r. So what relation is delta h by h? Means their shifting is equals to 3 cos square theta minus 1 by r cube. So just we can write that the shift which is induced by the shift reagent is represented by delta h by h, and it is related to the distance r and the angle theta which a proton bears to the europium atom by the relation, that is our delta h by h equals to 3 cos square theta minus 1 by r cube. So this is the relation, and this is our shift reagent in place of our europium atom. So sometime praseodymium can also come, and if R group is there, so it can be your tertiary butyl, and so R can be your this group also, FOD generally we are writing here. So if it is tertiary butyl, it will form your europium DPM whole thrice, and if it is this group fluorine group, so it will be your europium FOD whole thrice. So student, I hope now you understand why shift reagents name, as they shift the value of the chemical shift, that's why the name is shift reagent. So just let us and one important thing, some chiral lanthanide shift reagents are also there. What is the meaning of chiral carbon? As you all know, what is chiral carbon atom? When the chiral carbon which is having the 4 different groups. So see here, this is our optically active lanthanide shift reagent. So it is one form of that only. So this is our optically active shift reagents. They are having a wide application in our NMR spectroscopy. So what are these? Sometimes they can also ask what are the chiral lanthanide shift reagents. So you can just write the structure of this complex. So the first chiral LSR means lanthanide shift reagents was tris 3 tertiary butyl hydroxy methylene decampherato europium first, as they were derived from the chiral diketones such as camphor derivatives, as they are derived from the camphor derivative. So this was the first chiral LSR means lanthanide shift reagents, and the important application of the lanthanide shift reagent is the measurement of the preparation of proportions of R and S forms present in incompletely resolved mixture of enantiomers. As we know that when we are talking about optical isomers, you are getting R and S forms, है ना? So this, when you are studying the mixture of our enantiomers, there we can use the lanthanide shift reagents, chiral lanthanide shift reagents, and we can also write that effectiveness of the shift reagent analysis can be increased by the use of the low temperature NMR. So if we are using the low temperature in NMR spectrum, so the analysis can be done more effectively. So just you can take the screenshot, and the structure of the shift reagents are also important. The names are complicated, so it's not necessary to learn all the names. So this is all for the shift reagents. I hope the topic you understand. Thanks for watching. Do share with your friends and do subscribe the channel.